Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I hope everything is good with you guys. It has been a very strange week here. It's funny. People tell me all the time, man, you got a lot going on or a lot of projects or whatever. And I think most of them think that I'm just ADHD and I like to have a lot of things going on. But
No,
the truth is, shit happens.
we're scrambled. Scramble. Like eggs.
Yeah, we'll get into all that. Let's get some hellos in here real quick. Skanes girl, welcome in. She was first. Terminator, good to see you. The beautiful Louise. Wesley is in the house. Lisa, good to see you. Hey, my buddy Scott's here. What's going on, bud? Yeah, let's see here. Beth Emily, welcome in. Tamara Smith, the instigator himself. Hippocrates Garden is in and says, theme song for the week. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than have to have a frontal lobotomy.
A bottle in front of me.
Jane, hello. Good to see you. Welcome in. Let's see here. Dana Green, hi back at you. Let's see here. Bessie, welcome in. Nitos, how are you? Super glad to see your text. I hope it works out perfectly for you. I'm not going to bank on it, but I hope so. Harry Can Hempworth and the beautiful Paula are in the house. Good to see you guys. Will be cool. Good to see you. Says it's been like a monsoon. The weather's weird. Absolutely weird. Let's see here. Oh, American Roots Farm. Jess and Joe are in the house. We will see you guys soon. Well, at least half of you guys. Right?
Half.
Well, at least half. Might be the full load, but could be half too. Grateful Hearts Ranch, good to see you. All right. Well, babe, you want to get us kicked off?
You want me to start?
Sure.
Or you want to talk?
No, you go ahead.
Well, I started the week out super positive and productive and eager for the future. Went up to the garden and got the potatoes harvested. Jess came over and we talked Rowdy into using the skid loader and digging the potatoes up for us. So all we had to do is pick them up. It took about an hour?
Yeah.
About it.
I just took my skid loader, my pallet forks, and stuck it in and flipped those,
He was doing cookies. He would put his forks in and then he would just like spin.
Oh yeah, it just flips that whole top layer off.
And then we're like, oh, stop. And then we're like, okay, well, there is one. I'll pick that one up, but it's hard to stop as soon as you see them. So good news though, when they're growing in clumps, you're like, oh, stop, and then usually there's a couple there. So we got one crate full, which
isn't it a little early to be harvesting
potatoes? Is significantly less than I got last year.
Yeah, but you already harvested a lot earlier than last year.
Yes, this is. We had a bug issue and I thought that they were under control and then they came back and then the plants like disappeared. So we had basically just the mound. The plants were gone. I couldn't see any of the plant. It was basically grass and other things that I didn't want. And I had taken shovel loads, or bucket loads of potatoes out of there, I think 3 or 4 times while we were going through those events and we had some people over. And so we had eaten 4 meals, I think, out of there before we actually did the main harvest. But that's done. The bed is pushed back up into a nice mound and ready to be planted again. So.
Hey, real quick, welcome in Helen and Life with Mike and Jen. Good to see you guys. Go ahead.
So we got the potatoes done or harvested. We were able to get some cucumbers and basil, more basil, a few tomatoes, just the little ones. We haven't gotten very many. I haven't really gotten any big ones. There was a couple like, I don't know, like at a bit about aroma size. I think there were 2, and then the rest were much smaller. And then some parsley. I don't know if I said parsley, but I think that's about it. And
Grateful Hearts wants to know if it's squash season yet. Says we all know how much tag. loves squash.
So there are a couple of butternut squash, which is, I know, your favorite. So there were a couple that they weren't ripe yet. They weren't ready to harvest, but there were a couple that were pretty big size. So I'm hopeful that when we get back up there that there will still be there. It seems like the vine plants that we put into the food forest were basically consumed by squash beetles. So the cucumber or the pumpkins and the squash, the zucchini, all of those. There are 3 butternut squash in the garden number 2. So that's where the couple are.
If somebody was to say to you, it's crisp out here, would you assume that it's cool or hot?
Cool.
I would say that crisp would be cool. Well, either way, Silver Lining says, hello, freedom friends. It's crispy out here.
Ooh, probably because like stuff is burning up.
Hey,
it's hot.
Yeah, my buddy Idea
hot,
Mike's in the house. What's up, bud? Good to see you.
It's hot and wet.
Hey, the greatest name on the internet has joined us.
Oh, half bubble up plum.
Welcome in. Let's see here. I don't even know. I like delicata, Georgia, candy, roaster, and butternut types for squash. Not a squash fan.
Yeah. You just haven't had it the way you like it yet.
Silver Lining says it's always perspective. Yes, it is always
about the truth.
And we've had a bunch of perspective this week. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So we got a lot of the I've got a lot of new upkeep to get to in the garden. Starting with mowing, for example. We've had so much rain here. Well, actually, the internet says that this is typical for us. We've gotten, 8.75 inches from June to today, July 25th. And the internet says that that's just like a tiny bit more than what we got last year, but that this is a typical for this area. And to me, it seems like it's significantly wetter.
Yeah, I think this has been a below average heat year. We haven't had a day yet with the temperature over 100.
Not the temperature.
We have not had a single day yet.
Did we have a real feel over 100?
Yes, but we have not had the temperature.
Oh, the sun is shining.
Look at that. We haven't had that in a couple days.
We have not.
Yeah, Helen says Tag looks like he's lost weight, not a pound.
Are you looking thinner?
I know. Hey, the king himself.
Or Jeff. Maybe I'm just looking chunkier.
Maybe it's B's face got fatter. Hey, the king, Jeff, Gypsy, Hefty, Lefty, Mud Dauber, Amazon Slick is in the house tonight.
There was one more after Slick. Oh, Phyllis.
We have a squirrel problem. 5 raiders focusing on tomatoes. Eat a little, leave a lot. Very wasteful. Lead control is difficult to use. Any ideas? Lead control, sorry. But I hate to say this. I mean, for us, we just fence the best we can. We get our guardian dogs out, roaming the property, and then we lead. Right?
We do have a squirrel.
Yeah. Now I've heard people saying you can get rid of them with like things like cherry Coke and blah 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 blah. But
is that them?
I've heard that, but I think at the end of the day, and I've said this before, that if you don't have pests, you don't have an ecosystem. And we've got to figure out how to kind of live with them the best we can. So that's why we fenced our food for them.
Yeah.
Helen goes, no Tag? No, I have not lost a pound. I have pretty much maintained the exact same weight within my whole life. I've been within, not my whole life, since the Army, right? Since I graduated high school, I've been within 20 pounds of the same weight my whole life. I've never been more, never really been less. Just kind of stay right in that same thing. Hey, Betsy De La Rosa, welcome in. See here, Terminator's a Tag. We got from 48 degrees to 110 degrees. Then we had a tornado warning yesterday and had to take cover.
Oh my
in
gosh.
Canada.
How normal is a tornado in Canada?
I would not think very normal. I could be wrong. It gets up there pretty far, you know. But anyway, what else you got, Punk?
Let's see. I didn't get anything planted. I wanted to get stuff planted. I carried the tobacco up to the garden, and then it started raining, and I bailed. I did. I hauled back as soon as I could. Oh, and I started painting. Well, I've been painting more of Pod 4. I was still in what is that board? Okay, is that called shiplap? The boards that you put on Pod 4, is that shiplap?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's there. It's like a board over a board, and there's a gap in the middle. And sometimes the paintbrush fits in the gap, and sometimes the paintbrush doesn't fit in the gap. And so going through each line, trying to paint, all three sides of this gap, it has taken me a minute to get this accomplished.
It's not really a gap. It's where two boards meet that are designed to meet, right?
Yes, but it's like a board and then a sunken in area and then a seam. The seam needs to be painted so that it's not like, splotchy.
It will be cool. Says leave some water for squirrels and birds. They take a bite for liquid. So if you water them, maybe they'll take less bites. Rhonda Benefield, welcome in. Terminator says very rare in Northern Ontario. Silver Lining's got some advice for you too. Put up a gallon of dried elderberry. Still have more to harvest, but nothing like you guys. I'm ready for elderberry syrup. Well, man, we're gonna put it up for you. Silver Lining. There's just nobody who harvests elderberry like Silver Lining. She is you put a fork in her hand. You guys remember the Looney Tunes, the Tasmanian Devil that just
spins?
Yep. Yeah. She's the elderberry tornado. Helen says, be a squirrel problem. I feed the squirrels and chipmunks all nuts and shells.
Yeah.
Yep.
They ate the nuts I put in the orchard too.
Hey, look at that. Billy Bond's in the house. Billy Bond, how are you, my friend?
Hello.
Hey, for those of you guys who don't know or who don't follow, go follow Billy Bond. He's actually in the fight. He's taken it to him. He's been all over this flood thing down there in North Carolina. Been doing a lot of testing and studies on soil and the toxicity of soil afterwards. And
trying to fix it.
Yeah, so he's not a poser homesteader. He's not. There's a lot of them out there, baby.
There is.
There's a lot. Billy is in the fight. And you guys go over there, tell him Tag sent you. Follow what he's doing. I follow it. I watch many of his. I don't say get them all, but I get a lot of them. And there's some good stuff with Pat Miletich that's gone on recently. Just talked to him on the phone the other day, and they're in the fight. So go check it out.
Doing good things.
Yeah, good things. And I didn't grow up knowing Billy like a lot of people around here did. I had to learn Billy, and Billy's in the fight, and that's worth a shit ton to me. So anyway, go check him out.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Well said.
Yep.
Thanks for not being a poser.
He's not a poser. Terminator says, tag dealing with building inspectors. I have a meeting Tuesday. I might have to tear my cabin down. Not done with permits. We're going to talk about that tonight.
Permits.
Yep, permits. Asking permission. It's rough, isn't it? Yep. Let's see here. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Jen, Mike, and Jen, or Jen, probably Jen. There's Billy from Permapasture Farms. There's his YouTube channel. Again, go show and flow. Hey, tell you something else. They sell things like comfrey. We have comfrey in our garden that originated at Billy's. Bone sauce, rice knife, shirts. More importantly, though, what you're supporting is someone who's in the fight.
Yeah.
And that is what matters, because guys, a lot of people don't stand up
or donate because they need donations for the mitigation. Mm-hmm. Is that what that's called?
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing a lot of soil work, toxic soil work down there. And some of the stuff that they've done to our citizens for their own political gain is just ridiculous.
Yes.
And if you like hearing somebody rant, Billy's a good one for that too. Because he'll do like I do sometimes. So they'll get on a topic and it is like the passion starts coming up your gut and ends up in your lungs, and then then off the rant
I don't
goes.
think there's anything wrong with that.
All right. Rhonda Benefield says our elderberries are just out of bloom, waiting on the berries. Yeah, we got berries. They're
almost black.
Almost, yep.
They're dark red.
Yeah.
They're bitter still.
Yeah. Mary Michelle, welcome in. Jen says Mario's dealing with the haying guy.
Mm.
I got one real quick. You want to switch off a little
Yes.
bit? Another one?
Yes.
So you guys know I'm speaking at the Self-Reliance Festival in Camden, Tennessee on October the 4th and 5th. And I'll be speaking at Crunchy Mama Farms just outside of Dallas, Texas on the 14th and the 16th.
November.
Yep. Would love to see you guys out there. I think that's the only two I'm going to do this year, but we're just so busy. just so hard to get out. It takes you away from the fight,
Yeah.
But all right, you're up.
Yeah.
We'll go straight off. I got a list too. So
And it's hard to take time away from the fight because when it's quiet, they sneak things.
Yeah, Jen says his rants are hilarious, though. His funny little names are creative. Yeah. First time I was sitting next to him and he said, "Hey, the United States of Amnesia." What? Billy's a good dude. Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You want me to skip that?
Yeah, so I got it.
So I got my tractor fixed finally. Got the AC compressor was seized.
Yep.
And the guy came out and he was supposed to change my oil for my 50-hour service.
She's owned it a year and a half, you guys.
And
had to have it. Had to have it.
Yeah,
had to have a tractor.
It will last me the rest of my life. He
50 hours in a year and a half.
He did. I've done some 50 hours of mowing, man. That's mowing. That's top city mowing.
Don't you own a mower?
48-inch deck mower. Yes. I'm not gonna mow the fields with that. So the guy came out and he had a new truck and had to ask me for electricity. And so I was like, okay, well, where's the generator? Where's the generator? Where's the generator? Can't find that. Tag's not here. So I go get the bug out. Bug out? Yeah.
The bug out.
And take that up. And the guy was like, holy cow, this thing is amazing. Where'd you get this? I want to see if I can charge it on my truck, plug it into his truck. And he couldn't. But because he has no ability he's a mobile mechanic, but has no ability to have electricity. He has to rely on the people that he goes to work on. And sometimes those tractors are in the field. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, my preps came in handy for not just me to make coffee on a cloudy day, mm-hmm. but for the tractor fixer to use his AC equipment.
Pay attention to what you're doing. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing.
So anyway, he opened up the hood and he was like, you got a rat's nest in here. I'm like, well, that rat's nest was not there when I parked it. And I was almost having to mow around the tractor because the grass had grown up all over the area. So it is nice to get that moving, get it out of there, get it running. He said to leave the hood up too.
Mm-hmm. Keep the rats out.
Pack rats.
Hey, Helen wants to know how the honey's going. Have you collected any yet?
No, Helen. I have not been over there. But I now have a mower to get over there. No, I do. I think I need to let it dry now. And then I need to get over there with the mower and at least make a path so that I can find my way. The year before that, I weed eated that area. I don't want to do that again.
Hey, Leela, welcome in, by the way. And just for the record, the king himself says Luis is at 460 hours and going.
But they
got the tractors about the same time.
They don't have a skid loader, so they're using their tractor to move hay, to move wood, to move all kinds of things, where you would use the skid loader for those things. Mm-hmm. And we just use the tractor to plow the snow and mow the fields, the big open fields, because you cannot get around stuff with that. But
Nito says, I love his rants. I have the same mindset, and it's great to feel like I'm not the only one. Yeah, you're not the only one. Like, guys, I can't stress it enough. Billy's in the fight. And, Billy, you ever get a chance to come, if you're still on, and hang out and watch us go after our county officials and the stuff that's going on locally like that, you you would be. I think you'd be proud, bud. But we'll talk about that in a little bit too.
You say there is a lot going on.
Yeah. Hey, lazy loper, what's going on? Where's Squatchy? Go ahead, man.
He's on vacation.
He's on vacation.
So
on vacation.
birds.
My turn. You skipped me, but go ahead.
We had the two guineas who went out and had their own little wild nests, and the one mom still has her 13 little, I don't know, 6-inch birds. And the newest mom who I thought she had 7, she ended up having 8. She only has half of her birds left. This week, something just within the last 2 days, half of them are gone. I looked around where I thought that they would be, but because they don't go, they're not always in the same spot. So, I don't know, 4 of her birds are gone. And then dumpster turkey over there, she had a blackbird and a silver bird that she was tending to, and the blackbird is gone, so she just has the silver bird. She actually ended up, so she used to be over at the community building at the dumpster, and then she started coming over to the powerhouse to get food. She'd come over and squawk at the back door, so I'd just give her food. And tonight, actually, she was up inside the turkey coop, which is where she's supposed to be, on the very, very top. And her baby was outside of the turkey coop trying to get in because she could hear her. But I grabbed the baby and carried her into the pen that the mom was in, and I set her down, and the mom started making her noise, and she just boop, 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 boop up the roosts to the top. So she made her way up there. I think it's a girl. She made her way up there with her mom, and they're snug and protected because whatever got her baby traumatized her enough to where she was like, I'm going home. So it's easier to feed them or tend to them or count them when they all come home. I
quit counting years ago. You got too many animals now.
So when they all look different, I was like, oh, that's Doubly, and oh, there's Betty White, and then I'm like, oh, there's Betty Black, and then now I'm like, I can't tell. All the Sussex are the same, so I'm like, you're on your own, guys. I mean, now there's a few that I'm like, I'm pretty sure those 4 right there are roosters, but other than that, they all look alike. So it's. That was one thing that I liked about the backyard birds, the backyard flock, because I could tell them apart. Now they just all look alike.
I'm sure they're all uniquely special.
I'm sure. And the one with the bonked eye that I think that I did with the apple,
Still got his whole eye?
Yes. And today she was missing for the longest time, and I'm like, great, she died. Well, I found her in the baby pen, so I grabbed her out, and she was all weak and frail, so I carried her over to the ash, and I dusted her off with the ash, and then I gave her a little terramycin in her eye, and then I put her in front of some ivermectin water and some food, and I'm like, you got to get better. You can do it. I did not try to administer any fluids with a syringe. Her
waterboarding days are over.
I don't do that anymore. I just offer them a bowl, something that they can't drown into, because I'm like,
don't get them near a grain scoop.
No kidding. After
you've got really good friends, B. Jen says traumatic brain injury by apple.
I know, and it was so like I could not. If I was like trying to hit that bird, there's no way I could hit it. There would be no way. But if I'm trying to like dodge the 4 birds that are in front of me with the apple that I want to break. But no, thank you for telling me that you could just smash them with your heel and you don't have to throw them to break them.
How many years do you think it would have taken you to figure out that you could smash it with your heel?
I don't know. I wouldn't want it to like smear. And it kind of does, depending upon how ripe they are. But I do like the bananas. I'll peel them before I give them to them, which I'm sure that they probably could pick through it. But I love them. I want to feed them. Anyway,
Squatchy says, so I hear a voice of B, and then the loper threw me under the bus. Hi, y'all. Well, you know what? That's what the loper does, right? Let me see here. Totally random that you made contact.
it was a shock. I was shocked.
Did you know that if I went out there with an apple and tried to hit a bird in the head, I would be surprised if I didn't hit it?
I know. I saw you chuck a stick at the rooster that was running, and you hit it
in the head.
In the head.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because there's one king.
You got that from your mom, though. Your mom could throw a frying pan around a corner.
She could. Any of your guys' moms throw a frying pan around a corner or a shoe? My mom was great at it, man. Absolutely great.
That's because she had to learn that skill, like bowling.
Yeah. Hey, this week I had 2 interesting phone calls that came in. One from the East Coast, one from the West Coast. Both families looking to find community, and totally different conversations. Totally different people. I really like the idea. Would totally add to the diversity of our community, which I'm a big fan of, and lots of different skill sets and. More families, which is amazing, right?
Yeah, how could you go wrong?
Right. I mean, just super, super cool. So, I mean, it's a long process, but I'm excited about them, and I've got a video call with one of them this weekend. So,
are you going to do more videos on land? Are you?
I'm just waiting just a little bit. Yeah, pretty quick. I'll start doing land videos again, but I stopped. I don't know if you guys know this on purpose, right? Because you don't want to do anything halfway. If I get so much going on that I can't give any of my attention, then I failed in my whole mission. So we had such a barrage of new families and new homesteads that it's just really better to get them at a self-sustaining spot, a place where they're in pretty good shape before we start now splitting that time, with more. So that's actually the reason why I haven't done any videos, but I will. We're getting close. We've got, they got themselves, but with a little bit of help from the community, most of those are no longer what I would consider ongoing concerns, So I'm pretty excited about that.
You have such a big heart.
It's not about having a heart. I don't want to fail at what I'm doing.
I know, but to feel the need to help the new people so that they succeed. No, I don't know of a lot of people that, I mean,
why would I go through all the effort of
bringing
them here if I'm not going to help them?
Understand that. I see where you're coming from. I just say that you have a big heart to yeah, I knew that about you anyway, though, because of how you used to treat your guys in the field. I just dropped my eraser.
Well, hope you don't have to erase something. All right, let me see here.
It keeps the lead in the pencil, too.
Pete says, I am still wiped out from yesterday, but tomorrow will be a grind day. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a grind day for me, too. I got to try to manage about 14 things all at the exact same time, so it ought to be fun.
Yes.
Let's see here. I have a small hen that disappeared for a week, says Nitos.
Did she come back?
Thought she was gone, but she showed up looking for food.
So she's broody somewhere, you think?
You get that. You get that a lot.
I actually had to take I have birds that have not left the nest all summer. So I started picking them up and carrying them to the pond.
Yeah.
Just taking them over there. And I'm like, find your way home.
Yep.
At least that gives them a little bit of time to cool off instead of just dumping right back into the box.
Jen said, we are so over entitled, childish people. Grow up and act like the adult you are. Moving to the Arctic Circle is sounding better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll love the good news tonight. We got some really good news tonight.
Yes.
You excited about that?
I suppose.
Yeah. I could just tell you guys everything's really settling down.
I don't know.
You don't know? All right.
I don't feel like it's settling down. So I ended up hauling the chicken. I went and got chicken feed I don't have to get cow feed because my cows are at Lou's house, but
Mm.
we did opt to we got Lady is losing weight. She's not losing any more weight, but when she was here, she was losing weight. And then when I sent her over to Lou's to get bread, she hasn't gained weight. And so we started her on, let me see, what's it called? Amafirm, like for ruminant health.
Mm.
So it's supposed to, like, a probiotic to make it better. Let's see if we can get her to. Anybody have any
Tips?
Or history with Amafirm?
Hey, real quick, I want to welcome Lindsay Friesen. Says hi from Southeast Texas. First time watching live. Super cool.
Welcome.
Yep, welcome. Everybody say hi, Lindsay. Welcome to the zoo. But Lindsay, just the main reason we have a zoo is because my wife lives in this land of cotton candy, rainbows.
I did.
Yeah.
I used
fairy
to.
parts.
I don't know.
She got her bubble bursted a little bit this week. But
I did.
Yeah.
My rainbow was cloudy.
Pete says, good news is that a commercial come on saying I can lower my car insurance. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it all depends on what you're,
hoping for.
Hey, look at that. That you said my last name correctly. Cool. Is that like rare? Do most people get it wrong? Anyway, she's crazy. But we'll talk about the big bubble burst, huh? Next on my list, guys, I have to tell you that the community here is making some big strides. And although I'm not going to get into details because this is not what you should do, I can tell you that we've had a year of more food sharing than we've ever had. And I'm not talking about harvest so much because we're just now getting kind of at the beginning of the harvest. And though that will happen too, I'm more talking about sharing plants. And, I now have, stuff in my food forest and in our gardens that come from other homesteads that, that I've never bartered with before or traded with before. We had the local Indian reservation give us their whole greenhouse to just spread amongst the community, which was another.
The plants, not the greenhouse.
The plants, not the greenhouse, but the contents of the greenhouse.
The plants.
Yeah. And so there was a lot of that went on this year. On the other side, though, too, we're beginning to get a little more sophisticated in our approach to our county and to the area in which we live. And people are getting much smarter and understanding the laws much, much better. And we get on Tuesday next week, we're going to the annual budget meeting with, questions and, there's some good stuff that's going on and we're going to make sure we praise that good stuff, but there's stuff we don't like that's going on and we're going to point that out too. And, I know you guys who watch the channel all the time know this, we get into disagreements often, with them. And so we'll, kind of see what, kind of what comes next and all that. But I'm very, very proud of the growth of the community. It's really, really hard. We had a conversation with, some of our really good friends earlier today to just talking about it's hard when you're programmed your whole life to think a particular way. And then all of a sudden you say, wait a second, this has been a big, gigantic lie. And then you say, wait, I've got to recreate what it all is.
Yeah.
I got to refigure out what the system is, and it's hard. It's really, 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 really hard to break that train of thought,
Especially when you don't know what you have a plan, you think you know where you're going, but you don't know what it looks like over there. And so it's hard to get there when you don't know what it looks like, but you know that there's something better. There's got to be something better.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Squatchy said it just absolutely perfectly.
You're called Squeegee?
I was. Said the programming runs deep.
It does. It's hard. And oh man, now that we live off grid, I'm like, how much easier was it to just bump the thermostat here or there, to just not even think about plugging in the Instant Pot, It's just dinner time. Am I using the microwave to defrost the whatever, or am I using the the other appliance that uses 1700 watts? And now it's like, I don't know, for the first year, I guess. Not for the first year. I mean, I think when we first had the first 2 batteries set up, we were just like, I was just like in awe, like, oh, look at what my husband did. And then as soon as we got like all of these together, I was just like constantly going in there like, is everything okay? I'd go like plug in the Instapot and then run in there. Or I'd run in there and look, and I'm like, okay, I'm pulling in or I'm using like 580, 520, 490, somewhere in there. Okay, run back over there, plug it in, run back over, see what's okay. 17, 18. Oh my gosh, 19. Are we okay? I'm gonna run over there and check the batteries and make sure everything's okay. Okay, everything looks okay. Kind of smells funny, but I'm gonna go back over to the other one and look and make sure. Okay, we're still using about 16. 16, 17. Like I had to get used to getting over the paranoia of we just put electricity in here, man, on our own. So then I was like, it took a while, but he's like, just use the AC, just use the iron, just use the Instapot. And I'm like, okay. And then I got to the point where I was just like, I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to use that. And I have 4 air conditioners going, and I'm doing laundry, and I got the bug out plugged in. I'm using 5,000 watts of power, and everything's great. Living life.
Hey, bird's eye view, welcome in. Yeah, nobody wants Mike and Jen to move to the Arctic Circle.
No. Unless you're calling this the Arctic Circle. We can rename it.
Yeah.
It's not the community building.
It's the grain belt circle. How about that? Fields of flowing wheat.
It's like a ladies commercial.
All right, what else you got?
Oh, we're still doing that.
Oh,
we are having my mom's celebration of life walk coming up.
Walk
here. Yeah, it's a walk. We're walking. We're not sitting, we're walking. Body in motion stays in motion. Anyways.
So glad I'm not included in any of this.
You're coming, honey.
No. No. I am not galloping frantically through the Valley of the Daisies with a bunch of weird women singing.
It's sprinkle ashes. We'll skip and we'll sprinkle ashes. Everybody can have a little bowl. Anyway, so my eldest sister is coming to Kansas. This is her second time that she's going to be here. She's coming from Phoenix. She's coming with her husband and maybe one of her kiddos, if she can come. And then also I've got a couple cousins that said that they were coming. So I get to see a few family members, and we'll miss the ones that can't, of course, but we'll love on the ones that can and spend some time with them and have a grand old time.
You excited?
I wish it wasn't going on, but I mean, I'd love to see my family, but wish my mom didn't die.
Yeah.
So I do get to see my sister. That's great.
Yeah, but me and B, we only have one parent left. I have a mom. That's it.
Yep. Yes. Your mom. Yeah, so I got your mom's groceries yesterday or 2 days ago. And then she called me yesterday to tell me that I forgot her tomatoes. And she wanted me to go buy her 6 individual packages of tomatoes. I'm like, what? What are you doing? I've got 100 tomato plants here, lady. And she's like, yeah, I want you to buy them for me. I'm like, okay, whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Programming runs deep.
But then she's like, but can you bring me some eggs? But no, she didn't want to wait for the tomatoes is what it was. She wanted to make sauce, and she wanted to make it today. So, or she wanted to make it yesterday, but because I forgot them, that's why I asked you if she called you to tell it to Tattle, because I thought she called to tell him that I did not bring her tomatoes.
Yeah. Okay. Conserve Friends said, same here. First of all, welcome in. And then second said, my mom just died. I'm sorry for your loss.
That sucks.
Yeah. I hope all the prayer warriors out there send prayers to, Conserve Friends, way. And, it's never easy, bud, just isn't. All right. What else you got? You through it?
Basically.
We do some slides?
Sure.
All right. So.
And then I'll read through this.
You read through them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we were talking about how I had a conversation with an East Coast family and a West Coast family this weekend. It was really super cool. But recently we've met another couple who just happens to live in the same county that we live in, who are super like-minded, who both run businesses out of their homestead, who homeschool their kids, kids are super mannered, and they have 10. Is that right?
Yes.
And they have 10 kids. And which around here is like a badge of honor. Like that's some serious badassery. To be able to, build that next generation of patriots and warriors and freedom fighters and, homesteaders and, I just think it's beautiful. But anyway, so I've been talking to them a lot, and I found out they both had small businesses that they ran off the farm. And so I asked them if they could get me some information over, and then I would share it all with you guys tonight. And again, we've talked a lot over the years about, getting rid of the stroke and, getting out of the system. And we just have to be able to build our own networks for things. And this is where it all begins. And, not everybody will have a need of what they have. But again, what a great place to send your money if you do. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I just thought I would share with you guys both of their businesses. So this is the first one, which is Abundant Provision. And you'll find this on Facebook. And if one of you just badass moderators out there want to put an actual link, I'll put it up on the screen. Yep. But so she sells lots of things, and I'll actually give kind of an itemized list here when we're done talking. But lots of soaps, lots of things that obviously this type of audience would absolutely use. And the next one, her husband really spends, I'm assuming, based upon, I guess I shouldn't assume that. Maybe it's the other way around. Anyway, they also own Lazy J Cattle Company. And so they forage, fed, and finished. So what that means, did you notice anything about those cows out there? They're not in a feed yard, right? You don't see big bales of hay laying around. You don't, right? They're forage fed, which is exactly what he called it, right? So they're out there running amongst the trees and running amongst the prairie, and they sell beef.
Wonderful.
Yep. Now, I put their phone number on here for everybody because they posted their phone number on their Facebook page. And so you can also go to Lazy J Cattle Company on their Facebook page. Make sure you like and follow. But
yeah, you should like and follow because
good family.
You need to raise their numbers.
Yeah. And if you have a need for the types of things that they do, I'd really encourage you guys to reach out to them.
Yeah.
So Lazy J Cattle Company is raising good, healthy food since 2002. Land, actions, and food are not the same thing. Whole, half, and quarter beef, limited availability every fall. And then list the Facebook page. Let's see here. Abundant Provisions, soaps handcrafted by the bar, bundle or subscription, salves, bug balm, liniment of Zion, warm relief, dried herbs, nettles, mullein, plantain, milling grains, wheat, red corn, blue corn, jam, and jelly, elderberry. And again, list their Facebook page. So anyway, I'm super excited about getting to know these people better. I'm going to be visiting their farm soon. And it's just so neat when you've done all this work to build all of these things, and then you find a gem, like that, just kind of right here in our neighborhood. And I was super impressed. I got to spend a little bit of time with their kids when I met them. Very respectful, it was a lot of fun. And so anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing where this grows. But in the meantime, I will absolutely be supporting them upon me having a need. And it's hard for me because we raise our own beef and, a lot of those things. And she makes a lot of those things, but not all of them.
Yeah, they're like the nettles. She'd given us a jar of nettles. And I'm like, I want this. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
What can I use it for? But
yeah. Yeah, Pete says awesome on Lazy J. Yeah, again, if one of you moderators can, if you put a link in there to their Facebook page, I'd be happy to, post it so that people can get it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I agree. Wonderful.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's Jen. I'm not sure this would be the first one or the second one.
Lazy J.
It's Lazy J. How do you know? Oh, Lazy J. There you go. Okay, so there's Lazy J's right there.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. You rock. As always. And then we'll get that other one posted for you guys too. Okay. They've picked a date for the Harvest Festival, October the 18th. This year, we will do the first ever Fall Harvest Festival. So I'm excited.
With pumpkins and chickens and wagons.
I found a fall picture because they have not told me what we're doing yet. And so we had the same homestead did the spring and the summer festival and did a fabulous job. Knock it out of the park. But it's hard to do all of them. It's very taxing. And so this time the job is being split between two separate homesteads
Yep.
That live here, and it'll be really cool to see what they come up with. And of course, I'll keep you guys posted, the whole way.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll get the details worked out.
But if you have any really cool ideas, you should throw them out there so that
100%.
we can pass them along.
Yeah. There's a big debate inside of our community about, we really do 4 open to the public festivals a year. And, like there's some people who think, hey, it's a harvest festival. Let's do a bunch of harvesting. Let's do a bunch of preserving. But really what that means is you're in a hot kitchen all day long.
Yeah.
And which is fine. I mean, we all do that anyway. But the other side of us is, no, let's keep these 4 events fun, a demonstration of our life, right? A demonstration of how to live, whether it's off grid or homesteading or, whatever it is, and have some fun, have some time for networking and bonding.
I don't know. Our last several events, I've been running like a maniac.
Yeah.
And it's not a hanging out and having fun.
Yeah. And you probably always will be. Just like I am.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, do you have a this? Oh, right. Hey, this is broke. Oh, hey, that. And then it's like, yes, I'll go get it. Yes, I have that. Yeah. And you're constantly running.
Yeah. Hey, Toby Baldwin, welcome in. So anyway, we'll keep you guys posted along the way on what that turns out to be.
Yes.
I don't know why you took these pictures. But.
Oh, that was the dill that's out front, and we have some swallowtail butterfly larvae on it again.
I thought those were monarch butterflies.
No, those are swallowtail.
Mm.
And then the second picture
I can see 2 of them.
A Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah. Why'd you pick a picture of your Jeep?
Oh, no, the rainbow behind it. It was like 6:00 in the morning, and from the east, so this is over in the west, but the sun was coming up in the east, and off to the west, there was just this. It was 2. It was a double butterfly rainbow. You can't really see the second one though.
So the green, so you guys know the green Jeep, that's the bees vehicle. The gray Jeep is my work vehicle. That's where I drive back and forth to work. And then my black truck's parked on the other side. I think something's parked on the other side. So, all right. We'll keep trucking here. You didn't go to this. I guess I have to talk about this, huh? So we spent the better part of 2 days out at another homestead that there's nothing out there yet.
Couple shipping containers.
Yep, a couple shipping containers, and they're working on just building a 350 square foot just kind of a weekend hunting cabin for the short term, right? And so we were working on building the skids and and all of that stuff. And the beautiful Luis is in that picture. The King's there, MMR's there, and I am there. That's who's in that picture, right?
Yes.
There was a lot more people there than that, but anyway, so we did get to spend a little time at a homestead. It was hot. Yeah. The mornings aren't bad. The evenings aren't bad. The middle of the day, just absolutely hot.
And I think it was raining this day too, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got shut down. The second day we got shut down because of rain. It just started pouring, and that was that, right?
Yeah.
What do you got going on here?
That is a turkey inside of a bucket.
Was it drowned?
No.
Well,
but she was just like drinking water out of the bottom of that bucket, and I don't know, 20 feet away from that bucket is a whole trough of water. So I thought, what are you doing?
Didn't you have a turkey with a baby on its back earlier this week too?
Yes, she was walking around with her baby right sitting on her back, and the baby was hanging on. I was impressed.
I'm hoping Jen try to anyway. If I go here,
filtering.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the turkey in this bucket is the one that I kept that was silver. She was like silver and black. All the others of this age I gave away. I gave them away until you told me that Narragansett can be anywhere from white all the way to black. And my original hens, when I went out there, because I was only keeping the ones that looked Narragansett from birth, and all of those birds are now darker than my original Narragansetts. So now I can't tell them apart either. Oh,
that's weird.
It's not allowing it.
No, it did, and then it
took it off.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Anyway, so they're both the links.
Huh.
Hope you guys go check them out. They're good people doing the right thing. So
That's true.
yeah, okay. Oh, so this is such an interesting story. So many of you probably don't know this, but my middle son, who he don't live with us, he's got his own life and is doing his own thing. But anyway, he plays in a band, a grunge band, and they're pretty good. And they have.
You would call that grunge?
That's what I would call it. It's not.
It's.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would be classified like Nirvana or maybe even into like Ozzy Osbourne, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But anyway, so they ran out of a place to practice. For some reason, it fell through. I got a call at the last minute from my son and said, "Hey, Pops, can we come and do band practice in the community building?" I'm like, "Sure." So they went down there and did their thing, and then I was just kind of waiting for them to hook it all up and all of those kind of things. So I thought I would share the statistics of what the band cost to run, not from a money perspective, but from an energy perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, you guys can look right there at the graph, and I was producing 1 kilowatt hour at that time. It was getting late in the day. And I was using an additional 709. So basically, you're looking at about 1,700 watts of power.
This was like at 7:00 at night.
Yeah. And so but not a great time for solar production. I know it says solar production high, but that's not high. That system will do, a whole bunch when it's, when the conditions are set. But anyway, so running that band was only about 1,700 watts, and they were jamming out good. So it was really neat for me to sit up at my house. I didn't go hang out with them, but sit up at my house and listen to my son doing what he loves to do. We get so caught up and we've got to go to college and get a career and, go get a job and work, our whole life away to wake up and be too ill to actually enjoy it after all that time. And for him to actually be chasing something he loves, I'm 100% for it.
Yeah.
And, I wouldn't have said that 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I'd been like, no, get your shit together, get a career, get good at it.
What do you mean you're in a band?
Yeah. But the older I get, the more and more I kind of just
go have fun, man.
Go have fun. And, and if you can find a way to make it work, and more power to you. And so anyway, it was really a neat experience to have them down there. And Jen, they brought their own amps and all that stuff.
It was loud.
It was loud. It was louder.
It was a band.
Yeah, it was louder than at any point I've ever had the music down there.
And they were playing inside. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
I thought that they would play outside, but it was very loud. But you know what? I fell right to sleep. I fell asleep to them playing.
Let's see here. Toby says, talking to Gypsy, says, I've been going very slow. I have about 4 good hours a day. Then I'm done for had the cancer sucks.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. Let's get a bunch of prayers out to Toby and, put blessing on him. That he has a speedy recovery. Let's see here. The beautiful MJ from Wisconsin in the house. Good to see you. Jen says, what? We missed out. Yeah, but you know what? We got him now. Now we got him comfortable. His band members like, this is the coolest thing ever. Because they got to play where there's nobody around, and be loud. And
where were they playing before? Somebody's house.
And but anyway. So I thought you guys would find that interesting, the power that was used to run everything that they had mics, they had amps, they had all of that stuff. And that's what it was doing. So anyway, by the way, for those of you guys who don't know, this is the Grid Down app, the Line Energy app that goes with it that helps you monitor your system. And I just clipped it directly off.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Then remember how Bea was talking about earlier how her bubble has been burst.
My bubble broke.
Yeah. So you want to start the story of what this is? Because this has been a big debacle.
Yeah. So we had a day of rain and we lost power. I had 3 air conditioners going. It was my smart screen said I had enough electricity. So I had my air conditioners running, 3 of them of the 9. I had 3. And some ceiling fans and some lights, and that's about it. So we lost power and on Monday, and
well, no, we got to go back. We were laying in bed. It was 2:00 in the morning.
That's Tuesday.
Right.
That's the second day.
Okay, got it. You're not there yet. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So we lost power on Monday and then went to bed. It charged. Tuesday, in the middle of the night, Tag woke me up and said, your phone turn it off. It's going off. And I was like, what? And he said, I guess we must have lost power. And I'm like, what? That's weird because we had full batteries and we're not running any. The air conditioners are off. And that night I was like, we should run the air conditioner through the night. And he was like, I don't think we should. And I was like, if it can run, we should do it. And he was like, I don't think we should. And I was like complaining about it because I was like, I want to run the air conditioner. And he said, I don't think we should do that because if it was being ran in one room with the door shut, it'll keep that one room cool. But if you have the door open and it's just pouring the cold air out, then the unit is going to continue to run. It's not going to like the Instapot. It gets to temperature and then it levels out. So he said, I don't think we should. And so I said, okay. So then we went to bed and he said, we must have lost power. Wake up, unplug your phone. I don't want to listen to it anymore. And then he goes, oh, we must have lost power. And I was like, crap. Okay. And it was doing that. It was like kicking on, kicking off, kicking on, kicking off, kicking on, kicking off. The electricity was, which is what was blinking the phones because it was like being charged, not being charged, being charged, not being charged. And so I got up because the digital temperature on the wall was blinking on, off, on, off, on, off, which tells me the system's trying to work, but I don't have enough power to power it. So I got up, I went to the main breaker and just flipped the main power off. And I was like, okay, off. And when I turned to head back into the house, I could see the smart screen was still doing the on, off, on, off. And so I was like, it'll stop because it is only powering itself. And so I went to bed. And then the next morning, he's going to his commitment that he has 2 hours away once every now and again. And he was getting ready to go to that. And he said, oh, if it's not charging, you need to go and flip the breakers or flip the batteries. So on these batteries, there's a switch on the top of them that it's a toggle switch, and it's off or on. And when it kicks, it flips up, so you know that it's been tripped. So I went in there, and absolutely instantly, the smell was. I was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And then I could see that this battery was concaved from the top. And obviously the handle it wasn't off at that point in time. I think
I tried to lift it out of there and pull the handle off.
So it was hanging there at that point in time. And I ran over, and at that point in time, I think I had touched one of the batteries. No, that was afterwards because you said go ahead and turn it on. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh no, I don't want to. What do I do? And he was like, just go ahead and toggle on the ones that are okay. And so
before I left, I disconnected all this.
I went to toggle one on, and I heard a pop. And so I ran back in the house, and I'm like, you gotta look at this. I can't, blah, 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 blah. And so he's like, I'm trying to get ready. And so he went out there and he looked at that, and he unhooked the cables from this particular one and was like, all right, buddy, you're on your own. I got to go to work. And I'm like, no, what do I do? What happens? What's going on? I don't know. And so I spent the whole day on the phone trying to contact this person and that person and trying to figure out what's going on, what's the problem? How do I fix it? What do I do? And of course, being overly anxious and paranoid, really, because this could, I don't know, this could burn down my house. This could kill my people. This could, I don't know, because I'm not an electrician. I don't know what's going on. And so I don't know, never even seen a battery do this. And I don't know, I felt vulnerable, and my whole skipping around here and thinking everything's wonderful and perfect, and then I'm like, here this is, I can't control that this happened. I didn't know any better, but what?
I'm just listening to your story.
I don't know. I was on the phone for a day trying to get an answer, and then just watching the clock tick by, waiting for him to come home to, I don't know, take over.
Mm-hmm.
And then, every literally 10 minutes running out to make sure that nothing else was melting or on fire, or, what else could possibly happen. And then checking the smart screen that's in the house, and then running back and checking the powerhouse, just back and forth in between phone calls.
Can I interpret a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. First, Puck Elf, welcome in from Aussie land. So this is a 48 volt Simplify battery.
3.8
right.
kilowatt
hour battery. And this particular battery is 2 years old. They got a 10-year warranty on them.
Yes.
And for at the time, when
not even because we bought them in October.
Yeah, so October they'll be 2 years old. But anyway, they got a warranty on them, and this one melted down, and so it really wasn't that big a deal. I went and unhooked the battery and tripped the breakers on the system, and it all turned on perfectly fine, and there's no more harm, and there's nothing to worry about. And my wife is paranoid and runs around scared over something that she shouldn't be scared of at the end of the day. And
I actually, the guy at Simplify, aka Briggs and Stratton, said that he actually gave me a lecture of not knowing my system.
I've been telling you that for 5 years.
And I was like, okay. Thanks, guy.
Yeah, but you guys know what? This is a great example in life of how you can look at things any way you want.
That's true.
We get to choose our reality. And this can be a horrible thing, or this can be a way to look for opportunity.
Yeah. Right.
I'm right.
Right.
I'm 100% right. So we went down the road. So we got Simplify on the phone. They wanted to log into the system. Got Snyder on the phone. They wanted to log into the system. So this is my original solar system. And I put this in.
Upgraded.
It's been upgraded, but I've had this prior to owning Grid Down. This is my first system.
Yes.
We put a Grid Down in the community building because obviously I know a lot more now, but a lot more, right?
A lot more.
Yeah. And so long story short, what they've determined is that the parameters when we installed it weren't ideal. Now, I don't know that I necessarily buy this answer, but they quickly decided that it was my fault ultimately, that the parameters weren't set exactly the way they wanted them set.
They were so slightly off.
Yeah, like they wanted a 40 and mine was a 44 or whatever. But anyway, so they've been explaining to me how they're not going to warranty the battery.
And this battery is now melted onto that battery.
Yeah, it'll come right off. When you grab a hold of it, baby, it kind of wiggles. I need to get a flat bar in there and pop it off. It'll be fine.
He said if you did that, you could pop the other one.
Yeah, I could. I'll be careful. But anyway, so this sent us down a whole nother road, which is, it's crazy how technology works. You know, my inverters, I think I got a picture of my box open. Let me look here. Yeah, so if you guys look at the box there on closest to BNI, That's inside the breaker box of
the inverters.
The inverters. But anyway, my inverters are 2 years old. They were purchased the top of the line Schneider inverter 2 years ago, and they're already super antiquated. Right. And
vintage.
Yeah, that's the word they used, vintage, these vintage systems. And I'm like, dude, I just paid big money 2 years ago
to upgrade all of these.
Yeah, to upgrade all of these. One of the things, though, I've always thought about, let me get rid of that. One of the things that I've always kind of thought about in all of this was if I could connect the grid down system to the Schneider system, I could double, I could go from, 40 kilowatt hour batteries on one side and 54 kilowatt hour batteries on the other side and come up with a 90 kilowatt hour system that I could use at either the community building or up at the house. But it's hard. You got, totally different technologies and all of that stuff. And so I think what B and I have decided to do is we're going to replace the system at the house. I'm going to put a matching grid down system from the community building. I'll get those two linked together and we'll go from having 40 kilowatt hours of battery power to having 108 kilowatt hours of battery storage, which for us is such a big game changer because, and it doesn't happen a lot, guys. What the system that I have now is perfectly fine for 360 days a year. 358 days a year. The problem is the other 6. The problem is the other 8. You go 5 days without sun, whatever it is.
Then you lose power for the day.
Then you lose power and you just got to,
And it's not usually the day. It's usually through the night. And then by the morning, it usually kicks back on.
Yeah. So we're just going to replace it. And, but the first things first, what we're going to do is I think I have a plan in here.
Well, in that too, like we couldn't use our generator because of the Schneider system. The Generac won't hook to Schneider.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a service line from the community building out. We're going to run an RV switch out at a pad so that if someone comes with an RV, they can park there. We're going to run to the powerhouse. The powerhouse is where it's at right now. And then we're going to put a big transfer switch in and get
in the
powerhouse, get them together. That way it'll already be ran to the house. And so this does some huge things for us. Again, I go from 40 kilowatt hours of battery storage to, 108 kilowatt hours of battery storage. I also now have complete redundancies in everything. Mm-hmm. Right? You will. Yep. Oh, by the way,
this is so okay. So with the solar panel or the batteries are simplified batteries. We bought 2. They're $2,500 a piece. We bought 2 to start our system with 1 inverter, 2 charge controllers, and all the wiring. And we were like, okay, this is enough for us to run wires to build this house. And we did. We used that system to charge batteries, to use lights, to do those things for a year while we were building. And then we upgraded to, we got
the XP Pros.
No. So we had the 2 batteries.
No.
And then we got 4 batteries to add to that. And then 2 batteries one year, 4 batteries another year. And then the next year we upgraded 3 charge controllers or inverters and got 2 more batteries. So we had 8 batteries, but they were 2 and then 4 and then 2 different years. And we were told that we could stack them like that. And we did. And they worked fine. We got them working for 5 years. And we were told now that because they're all together, they're not piggybacked wired, but they're wired so that they're working as one battery. So they're coming from the bus
battery
bar.
Box. They're all wired to a battery
box. Okay.
Right.
I thought it was a bus bar, a battery box.
No, that's what's in the battery box.
So then because they're all working together, he said that one that was ruined, they're all basically shot. They all have some life in them, but they're not ever, you've diminished what they could be. And so you could continue to use them until they die, but like, we're not warranting any of them because you messed them up. Yeah. And so we're like, what? So we would have to replace all 8 of our batteries at $2,500 a piece. And technically we would, for what we were going for in a cotton candy and rainbow world, we were looking for 16 batteries with our Snyder system. And that would do everything that we needed to do forever.
Yeah, 16 times 2,500. That's why we're not there yet. Oh, hey, real quick. No lives complete without a...
Ooh, Pack Rat.
Welcome in, Pack Rat. Yeah, hey, I got some comments here I want to go through real quick, just because we're at it. So Puck Elf says, I just did a video on fixing one of those cheapo 1K Chinese inverters. The fuses were soldered into the board and the heat sinks were glued in. Unfixable. Hold my beer. Fixed for $3 of bits. Yeah, I love that. Hey, if you will post what your if you have YouTube or whatever it is, I'll make sure I put it up there and everybody can go check it out.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, especially since it's solar stuff that we're just learning about.
Yep. If 2 years is vintage, then you must be in the ancient category tag. Aren't you older than me?
No, she's not.
This is my story.
She's not, though.
Is Mike older than me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you're so young, then you're a cradle robber, right?
No, he's your elder.
An elder robber? Because she's a cougar. What do they call the next step after the cougar?
That's the other way.
Anyway, all right. Let's see here. Puck House, this is fascinating. My friend who worked in radio and mining taught me cable wiring, had great ideas on multi-battery micro setups. Yep, all linked together, one power, the other if someone is low. Yeah, well, on lithium, you can do that a whole lot better, you know. But anyway, we're going to get a new system, which is, you know, pretty cool, I think. I am not an electrician. Question, the battery boxes touching each other would make them overheat? Shouldn't. But would it be better if they were further apart? Yes. If they had an inch between them, that would be better.
Yeah.
To daisy chain them is probably the best, except if you look up a simplified battery, nickel phosphate battery, you can't daisy chain them. So they specifically say do not do that. Hey, local preppers in the house. What did I miss? Well, my solar system battery melted down. I have to buy a brand new solar system. We got a festival coming up. Bees hard at work in the gardens. Met some new community members and some potential community members on the East and the West Coast. And we're getting ready to go hammer our county at a budget meeting. Did I miss anything?
That's about right.
All right, local prepper, look at that. You are all cut
Welcome
up.
to the party.
Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I missed a few, but let's see here. Local prepper says just gave away a Redivis DMR radio. Oh, cool. I like that. Wow, 40,000 plus. They better work better than assuming that. Yeah, well, I mean, we're just going to go on. I'm not going to spend any time worrying about it. I can't spend any time worrying about it. I'm going to go figure out how to fund it.
That's that we, instead of buying batteries to work a system that we know nothing about, we are going to take the money and purchase a system that we could do better with, I think.
Well, again, it totally more than doubles our storage capacity. It also gives me a redundant, completely backup system. And for those of you out there who do any kind of prepping, whether it's on the hoof or on a shelf, understands the importance of that, you know, your backups to your backups. And ultimately, I like to get where I could send all the power to either location. You know, if we have a big band at the community building, I can send it there, whatever it is. But it's going to be a great experience putting it all together. This is going to be a totally new type of hookup, I think. I've had good conversations with my buddy Indiana Mike and Joe and, you know, others who are going to come, and we're just going to knock it out and put it all together and, you know, bust it out. The new system will probably ship out middle next week.
And it's going to be commissioned to what we need.
Correct.
It's going to be, we're going to be able to monitor it easier.
Yeah. So we shall see. Jen says Mike's a fossil. That's kind of going around apparently. Hey, Design 2C, how are you?
I still am just the one thing about the grid down system is that it is you plug it in, this plug goes in that hole. You cannot mess it up.
Yeah. Puck Elf, thank you so very much. And you and I are now complete buddies, because this is my wife freaks out about this kind of stuff, but he's right. Your charge controller will have a thermal sensor on it. You stick it to the batteries and it should trip before it breaks out. And that system has all of those. And we don't know that battery caught fire. I mean, it might have had fire, it might not have. I didn't see any residue of fire. It just really looked like it just kind of melted down. So let's hear yikes on the solar. Liberty Electric is proposing a 39% rate hike. So trying to decide if solar makes sense. Well, I'm going to help you out, Design 2C. Solar makes complete sense, especially right now, because coming January 1, the 30% tax rebates are gone.
It's gone.
So anybody who puts in solar in this calendar year and gets it in and running prior to December 31 gets to deduct 30% of the cost nationwide. And that's going away January 1.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Puck Elf says 1 is none, 2 is some, 3 is 1. Yeah, my wife likes to say 1 is none, 2 is 1, and 3 is a spare. So it ought to be fun. Yeah, Squatchy, it's going to be a huge project, but it'll be fun. I mean, off we go. Get a guarantee by the company with the installation. Helen, we'll be installing it ourselves, and unfortunately, I own the company. So I'm guaranteeing that I'm going to pay for whatever the problem is. Right? Yeah, Helen says solar makes a complete sense. Right? The World Economic Forum is coming for your power bills. Real stuff. Puck Up. I totally agree. I've actually got some slides in my good news part tonight that talks about the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization for that matter. But yep, life is good. All right, where was I at here? Let's get some real interesting stuff, huh? Now, this is some local news that I don't know if you guys seen this. Squatchy said, is the rebate grid tie or off? Either one of them. Either one. Did you guys hear there's all this storm about a intentional community that's building in Arkansas that the only rules they have is you have to be white. Yeah, and so it is creating such a huge storm, right? And inside the Ozark Hills in Arkansas, a group called Return to the Land has established a whites only community. And the guy, Orwell is his last name, the guy that kind of their spokesperson, or I guess whatever, said, we like for a network of communities, community centers, and recreational areas to be available to our members that affords them opportunities to celebrate their heritage with their folk. So I'm just curious from your guys' perspective, and I'll share with you what I think, but how do you feel about this? How do you feel about a white-only community?
I think that's dumb.
Yep. Let's see here. Look up, so my friend's got a grid-tied one of those wall-mounted big lithium banks, leak and knock off Tesla battery. Her system is so well installed, I was impressed. Oh, good. Yeah, Design 2C says it kind of feels off or cultish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I think's interesting about this, and you guys keep commenting because I would like to know, again, what your guys' thoughts are, but what I find interesting about this is who gives a shit?
What color somebody is?
No, what somebody wants to go do. If you want to go live in a community of white people, go live in a community of white people. You want to live in a community of black people, go live in a community of black people. If you want to live in a diverse community, go live in a diverse community. I don't think this is a big deal at all. Knock yourself out. As long as you're not removing the constitutional rights of somebody else, you'll be free to live the way you want to live. How is them doing this any different than gay marriage or any different than anything else in the stuff that goes on? I guess I don't see the big deal, Nita said, yeah, we decided to go solar because of the rates going up constantly and the brownouts will ruin freezers and HVAC systems. Yeah.
I had eggs incubating. So I had to get rid of them. I'm done incubating eggs this year now.
Oh, I love this statement. Puck Elf says people have the right to be wrong. This is exactly what I'm saying, right? You have the freedom to live your life according to the way you want to live your life. It's freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom only works if it works for everybody. You guys, just like me, who are out there in the freedom fight, you should be standing up just as much for a liberal, just as much for a white community, a black community, just as much for any of those types of things. And in fact, you might be surprised to know, although it never gets any publicity, that 19 families buy nearly 97 acres of land in Georgia to create a safe city for black people. And of course, nobody cares. We have the Black College Fund, right? We had a women-only air race making stops in Kansas. So who cares? Why is any of this a problem?
That's what I'm saying. It's just dumb. Why do we have to, say that they have to be all white or they have to be all black? No intermixing. No. It does. Why? Why does it? Why do you care?
But would you agree that if someone who's African American, let's say, who is very proud of their heritage, that's great to be proud of your heritage. Who cares? Like go do it. I just don't. I guess I don't.
I think people should be proud of where they come from.
Yeah. Let's see here. 9-year-old, not 19. Oh, let me see. Oh, babe. Sorry. Okay, back up here. Jen says, when our kids were in school, there were multiple ethnic clubs, but none for Caucasian. My innocent 19-year-old asked if there were any she could join and was told no. I just don't see what the problem is, Also, we don't want to be asking anyone for anything. Nito said that comment for the win. Yep.
That is why we do what we do.
Separatism and labels cause more problems. I thought we got past this. I don't think someone wanting to live in a white community or just like the 19 families who bought the acres in Georgia, I don't think that makes them racist.
Unless they say that you can't come here unless you're, if you're white.
I still don't think that makes them racist. I mean, to say, hey, I'm proud of my community and I want to build a community I'm a German, around German heritage or Mongolian heritage. I just don't see the big deal. If people don't want to live that way, they won't live that way. And if they do, they will. They're free to do what they want.
Isolate yourself. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Knock yourself out. I mean, but I do think it's absolutely bullshit that the white people who do it get all this attention and the other ones barely make any news. You want equal rights and you want people to be free. That means people are free. We talk about this all the time. You can have freedom or safety, but you can't have both.
I know.
You just can't.
I don't like that.
You might not like it, but it's absolutely the way it is.
It is.
Yeah. This is Lou. Gypsy is a Heinz 57. Hope we are still accepted. You guys are the elders now. You guys got to tell us what happens. Let's see here. Puck Elf says in Australia, we had a vote to add a third level of parliament for some non-elected council in Indigenous elders. The only state that voted yes was the woke, rich capital territory. You see, I was just about to say I'm glad to know that it's as corrupt there as it is here, but I'm not glad to know that.
No.
No,
it's sad.
Yeah. They kicked all the natives sour 20 years ago for Aussie Olympics. Then that's all BS, but I think the natives, you bring up a great thing. There are tribes all over the place. There are reservations all over the place. There's tribes that live amongst their kind. It's fine. Knock yourself out. Mongolian, Russian heritage, and I'm in trouble. Yeah. Any other race doing the same thing is not a problem. As badly as whites are being treated, I can understand why they're doing it. I'm 100% supportive of them doing it, just like I am of the 19 families who built a black community, just as I am of the women-only air race making a stop in Kansas. Will be cool. So I think the black community in Georgia failed. This was a while ago. That article was actually written in 2020. So we'll see, I guess, right? It got voted down because everyone who is normal knows it's nonsense. And Jen says the whole thing is stupid. I think it's stupid too. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Are
they good people? Hang out with them.
Yep. We had some good news this week from a larger scale, and then we kind of had to back off because maybe it wasn't so good news, but the Department of Energy cancels the $4.9 billion loan guarantee for the Grain Belt Express. And if you guys remember, I actually posted a video of us going up to those meetings to try to prevent this from happening. And so the Department of Energy cancels their loan guarantees. Well, then I got notified today, but apparently if you look at the date, it was 2 days ago. I learned of it today. The Grain Belt says it will proceed with private funding after federal loan pulled. And so apparently it's back on, but they're going to try to get private money. But here's the good news. They're $4.9 billion short. Coming from someone who's raised money in their life, that's a lot of money to go raise,
Billion.
Yeah, I mean, with a B.
Yeah, but they can just print it.
Puck Elf says 100% Scottish and Danish. Let's see here. I went through homeless stuff and my local tribe said, what the F, aren't you Indigenous? I grew up with them and literally part of the tribe was so nice to say they will help me reconnecting roots. Yeah, well, I think there's a good lesson in all of this too, not to let the world divide us. It's, I have no need to live with just white people. I don't really care. But at the end of the day, I think I would still stress the same thing. They're free to live their life according to their own terms, as long as they're not removing the freedoms of somebody else. And I will stand up for their rights to have a white only camp, just as I will stand up to not allow, Martians to be barred from, using public bathrooms.
Oh my gosh, come on.
Well, I didn't want to pick a race because.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you were literally saying aliens.
No. Although, maybe, you think there's any alien news going on? You don't know?
No.
You don't know.
I'm too wrapped up in my own solar debacle.
Yeah, well,
I don't have TV.
You don't have enough power to run it.
I am baby in my system right now.
She's so crazy. Like me, I just don't worry about it.
I know. He's like, just turn it on. And I'm like, what? No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, this is the world I have to live in. When it is plenty big right now, missing that one battery to run your fans, your conditioner.
It was actually full by 8 o'clock this morning.
I know.
How is that possible? I don't understand how it's charging faster now with that battery not there. That doesn't make sense.
Oh my! It's just such a cool thing in life when you marry your best friend. It just is, because you can get just amazed at all of their incredible accomplishments and all of the incredibly intelligent things you do, and then there's moments like these. I love you.
I want my rainbow back.
I want my rainbow back. So you need to get rid of I'd propagate that t-shirt, and we will introduce I want my rainbow back. Let's see here.
No, I've been super anxious, and I'm mentally exhausted trying to just. I know, and he's like, "What are you gonna do if it's like burning? Like, why do you keep looking? What do you?" And I'm like, "Then I will know." And he's
but
like,
you can't do anything.
What are you gonna do about it? And I'm like, I'll know about it. And he's like, but what are you gonna do? And I'm like, quit asking me that. I'll know about it. Wouldn't you rather know? Even if you can't do anything about it, wouldn't you rather know it's going on?
Puck Elf says, I just realized the lady reminds me of my bestie, who is a full-on camper girl. Same smile and vibe. It's cute. Oh, cool. She's got a good vibe. We have a lot of fun. She's on vacation a lot. Let's see here. Nito says, tag. She needs to learn the system and how it works. You ever heard that before?
Yes. I've heard that several times with last week.
Yeah. Yeah. G.I. Joe says knowing is half the battle. Yeah. Tag, do you have a fire suppression system at the batteries? No, I have it parked, loaded on a UTV outside the door of the batteries. No, I don't have anything in there.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't spray water on that anyway, right?
No, if that caught fire, you ain't putting it out with water. Those batteries are going to burn until there's nothing left to burn. B is just being B, fluttering from flower to flower and being a badass in the hive, making it all happen. Well, you know what the good news is Jen, you and I agree on most things. And the sentence is another great example of how we agree on most things. I agree with fluttering from flower to flower. I agree with being a badass. I don't necessarily agree with making it all happen.
Not necessarily.
Hey, babe, listen, I want you to listen to this. B, one less battery is a smaller bucket to fill, so it fills faster.
Huh. I just don't have the same storage. Thanks. Thanks for putting that in my head. Now, if my system's set up to be charging 8 batteries and one's down, am I overcharging, over voltage?
Helen says you're fantastic.
Another issue.
And hardworking. When Elf does installs, I draw instructions like a comic book explaining it to make you put in a plastic folder you tape to it.
Oh.
I looked into a Halon system. Yeah, money. I don't know what that is, but Packrat says Halon or a big sand scoop dump. Now that I'd be super interested in building a thermal a battery out of a sand battery or a water battery. I'd love to get there someday. Yeah, Jen says the magic laundry basket doesn't take care of itself. Yeah, she's talking about how we take our dirty clothes and you put them in a basket, and then next thing you know they're put away. Like it's the magic laundry fairy. Yeah, it just happens.
Yes, husbands are like, oh look.
Yeah,
I guess not all husbands. Yeah, my husband.
Color coding wires using different heat sinks helps so much. I do for people when I do repairs, and I write down and label what I've done. And my system's pretty labeled, so that's a good thing. Skeins is a little Choctaw. Isn't there a song about that? Mm-hmm. Can you sing it for us? She's an
Indian outlaw.
She's a so
Cherokee.
Yeah. So she is. So Skeins girl, so everybody knows, is the Indian outlaw, half Cherokee and Choctaw. And her Indian name is Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Oh, I promise you, a lot of you don't know the joke, but there's a lot of people laughing.
Squirrel looking for nut. I know it's here somewhere.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. I have a rattle paint pens to color code. Yeah. Squatchy says, I love my laundry fairy. Yeah. Yep. Squirrel who drives a lot. Yep. Haha. Camp. I have sock goblins. Never got a matching pair. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, we better. It's an hour and 31 minutes. We should get to the good news tonight. You ready for good news?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna have to go though, because go quick because now I'm gonna run out of time. You good?
Go fast.
I'll go fast. Now I'll go that fast. Trump says he has a list and he's going to release it. You should focus on Clinton, he says. You should focus on the former president of Harvard, and you should focus on some of the hedge funds guys. So this is obviously him referring to the Epstein list. And he says, and I quote, I will give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't. So just out of curiosity, I thought they didn't have the list. Then I thought they did have the list, and then they didn't have the list.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
Then the list was manipulated by the Biden administration, so it was all fake news. And today they're going to release a list. Trump announces plans to release the Epstein list in full name, names Bill Clinton and other leaders in a live press conference. The president denies allegations. He is considering a pardon for this child sex trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell. President Trump denies ever visiting Epstein's pedophile island and points the finger at Bill Clinton, claiming that he went there 28 times. He says any documents tying him to Epstein are forged by the Biden administration, calling it another hoax, like Russian Gate. That's a clue. Trump says the deep state is attempting to pin their own crimes against the children on him.
That's usually what people do.
A reporter asked, do you maintain that you did not write the letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday? Trump says, I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean you don't know what you're talking about? This has been in the news for a week, but somehow he don't know what they're talking about. And somebody should have written a letter and used my name. It happens all the time. You have to do better. I'm sorry, you have to take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything is just fake. Wait, I'm so confused. If you elect me, I will release the Epstein list. I'm going to release the Epstein list. It's on Pam Bondi's desk. Pam Bondi says it's on my desk. I'm reviewing it. Trump says there is no list. It's all fake news. It was all made up. To today, we're going to release the list, but it has nothing to do with me. My name's in there, but it's because they put it in there. You following?
Yeah.
I'm glad you are.
It's a big circle.
Yeah.
I think it's a sleight of hand. They're like, hey, look at this. And they're doing something over here.
Hubby says B may have found a squirrel, but she found her nut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see here. There's a second one. I explain what it did. That's just proof in the pudding. All right, let's keep trucking because there's some really good stuff tonight. But if you guys know this week, but Ghislaine Maxwell was caught on camera carrying a strange object after a meeting with the feds. Her attorney, David Oscar Marcus, we had a very productive day today with the Deputy Attorney General, Tom Blanche, and Miss Maxwell. First, we want to thank the Deputy Attorney General for being so professional with all of us and for taking the time to meet with us. That's an interesting way to say that sentence, I think. Thank you for being so professional with us. That means they're playing ball. He spent the full day and asked a lot of questions, and Miss Maxwell answered every single one of them. She never stopped. She never invoked any privilege, and she never declined to answer. She responded truthfully, honestly, and to the best of her ability. You ever hear the government talk like that?
How did they know?
That's all the comment we're going to have on today's meeting. We don't want to speak about the substance of the meeting for obvious reasons. Well, what I find interesting about this is why. Why is it that she answered every single question? She never stopped. Why is it that she never invoked any privilege? And why is it that she never declined to answer? Why is it that she responded truthfully, honestly, and to the best of her ability? There's a deal in place, guys. There's a deal, right? Yeah, so Nito says, so what is going on that they don't want us to know about? Yeah, there's a lot there, right? There's more to this story. Let's see here. Trump has not now he has not ruled out pardoning the child sex trafficker, Epstein's enabler, Miss Maxwell.
Of course.
Why? Because she knows things. A pardon would keep her from talking. A true warrior against traffickers would quickly say, hell no. Trump and Pam Bondi, this is just a little bit later, Trump and Pam Bondi will say they didn't pardon Maxwell. They just reduced her sentence to time served. In exchange, she won't name Trump. AG Pam Bondi states that Maxwell will indeed testify about Epstein. The truth about Jeffrey Epstein and his clients will be told, she says. Let's see here. Why won't the drive-by media ask Bill Clinton why he visited Jeffrey Epstein's island 28 times? Why won't they ask him about what he was doing there? Trump kicked Epstein out of his club when he learned about what he was up to. Miss Maxwell was granted, this is right before the live. I see this pops up. It says Maxwell has been granted limited immunity by the Department of Justice during her meetings with the Department of Justice. Maxwell answered a question for 9 hours over the course of 2 days. Isn't that crazy how that whole thing goes along? Mm-hmm. Right? You totally see the writing on the wall. She goes on to say that there are evidence about Hillary Clinton killing hundreds of people. President Trump rips a reporter asking about the Maxwell pardon. He said, I would be okay to pardon her if it netted the arrest of every person who raped a child on that island. And so I would ask you guys this. Do you think that pardoning Maxwell is worth being able to release the full list of all the pedophiles who were involved? Would you take that deal? Even though she's the one that, set all the meetings up. She's the one that groomed the kids. Would you let
the ringleader?
Would you let her walk free in order to clean the swamp?
Free.
I'd really like to hear what you got. You want to shut that window?
Yeah.
Wind picks up here. So let's see here. Puck Elf says, "Don't ask."
I'm going to go close the windows.
Yeah, don't. Okay, go ahead. Don't ask hard questions, and you won't get hard answers. Yep. Lindsay says it's like Schrodinger's cat. The list both exists and doesn't exist. There's now no way to discern the truth from a lie. I love this comment, and comment for a win. I've told you guys on many lives, believe nothing I've said tonight and believe every bit of it. Go do your own research. It is so hard, Lindsay, to tell what's true anymore in any fashion. Right? If this all came out that Epstein was a completely made up, it really wouldn't shock me. If it all came out that everybody was involved, wouldn't shock me. Right? And but how in the world are we ever supposed to know the truth? And I had hope when Trump first got elected that maybe it would be something different. And everybody who watches this channel knows I no longer have that hope. But it's Coke and Pepsi kind of thing. And which one do you want? But I love your comment. Let's see here. I think I covered all of those. Let's get to some comments here. Even in the pics when the media blew up of him at the Trump party, Trump literally in the picture is side-eyeing the guy thinking, what the F is this? Well, if all of this is a big play, Puck Elf, to bring out the ringleaders of all of it, I will absolutely applaud him. And I do now. If he does something I like, I say it's great. If he does something I don't like, I say it's not great. Right? Maxwell will say whatever they want her to say. How can she be trusted? Also, another great point. right? Hippocrates says if she names Clinton, I doubt she will walk free long. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about all of the people that, of course, conspiratorially was, enlifed at the hands of them, No deal. She's already been judged. The wizards have the answers. They just don't want to be incriminated. And again, Jen, as we talked about on last week's live, at no point in time should the most innocent of all of us, no point in time should the brutalizing of that innocence be held to as less value than national security. This is ridiculous. Nothing should trump that. Absolutely nothing. Puck Elf says, sad thing is if Epstein is a CIA asset, that means he only one head of the Hydra they created. Yeah. And so again, I think the question is, would you let Maxwell go if you could get to every head of the Hydra? Yeah. Puck says they're all manufactured. Yeah. G.I. John says, by the way, welcome in, says, there are many lists, so it does and doesn't exist. Just like what is the definition of is Bill Clinton? Yeah, remember that? What's the definition of is? I had forgot about that. Yeah. Hey there, my buddy Mario's in the house, says he's out of popcorn. Well, you were blessed in life to marry a lady who can pretty much cook about anything. And I don't think that you're suffering, Mario. Yeah.
Yeah, all you have to do is just ask.
Yeah, Puck Elf says, where the hell is Corey Feldman on this? Yeah. And P. Diddy's going to go free. Anyway, and here it is. Right, the single most shocking testimony in United States congressional history by J.J. Carroll. And for those of you guys who don't know who J.J. Carroll is a former higher end official at for ICE, for Border Patrol. So he comes from Border Patrol and way up there. this is his testimony. I state without reservation that the United States federal government under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is the world's largest child sex trafficking organization in modern history. The probability that thousands of these children are being raped at this very moment is 100%. I served in the United States Border Patrol for 24 years until I retired as the deputy patrol agent charged in the San Diego sector. I worked under 5 presidential administrations and only one president secured the border, Trump. Border Patrol agents went from working and being supported by the greatest Border Patrol president in American history to the worst president, Joe Biden. My last year in the Border Patrol was Joe Biden's first year in office, and on his first day in office, I watched in disbelief as 94 executive orders cascaded down from Washington, D.C., obliterating every immigration policy that had been provided the most secure border in American history. Border agents were forced to carry out unconstitutional orders, and that violated every law in the Immigration Nationality Act. President Biden, through the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Maracas, created policy out of thin air, ignored federal immigration and law, and facilitated the largest mass invasion into America as the world has ever seen. The United States of America will have spent hundreds of billions of dollars in 4 years to fund the needs of over 50 million illegal aliens that populate our nation. Between 1 in 6 and 1 in 7 residents in the United States is now an illegal alien. America has suffered the greatest demographic shift in modern history. After serving in the United States Border Patrol for 24 years, I state with complete certainty that the Biden, Harris, and Mayorkas are intentionally, strategically, and purposefully weaponizing illegal immigration and its use of it as a tool to fundamentally transform America inside the invasion of the unspoken evil of child trafficking, and more specifically, child sex trafficking has flourished. At the end of this current administration, the number of children trafficked will have grown to over 550,000 unaccompanied alien children known as UACs.
What's a UAC?
Unaccompanied child, right? And there's something that was said in here that I think is pretty interesting. Make sure I get it right here. There was one great statement in here. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, I guess I won't cover that point. There was something I really loved.
The mass invasions of the American.
No, there was I like how they talk in doublespeak sometimes, and let's see. Jen says they need to be held accountable, but no big player is going to be held accountable. She could lie and withhold as well. Yep. We're never going to know the truth, guys. That parallels a short poor video I did recently, when and what ethical and moral concerns absolutely trump any and every economic argument. Oh, I love that. I have not seen that, Hippocrates, but I will go watch that. I've always been a Michael, I don't know who that is, supporter, being around the same age, growing up with the movies, when he said MJ wasn't the problem. People should listen.
That was Michael Jackson. Probably wasn't the
probably,
problem.
Yeah.
McLaughlin. That was probably McLaughlin.
Okay, got it.
I guess I didn't see it. Yeah.
So, breaking director of national intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has declassified files revealing that the Obama administration manufactured and politicized intelligence to construct the Trump-Russia narrative during the 2016 election. Tulsi wrote, their goal was to upsert President Trump and subvert the will of the American people. No matter how powerful, every person involved in this conspiracy must be investigated and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. The integrity of our democratic republic, which, by the way, I love that someone uses the word republic. We're not a democracy, right? Anyway, our democratic republic depends on it. We are turning over. Trump then comes out and took off the gloves and directly saying the Department of Justice must go after Mr. Obama following Gabbard's bombshell document release. After what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Okay, wait a second. Wait. You guys want to read that again? What's that say? After what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Right? This is politicizing. This is politics. What he's not saying is, what I'd much rather him say is they were in the wrong, they broke the law, and we're going to prosecute. But that's not what he said. What he said is, even the wrong or the right, it's time to go after them. So why is it okay to go after somebody if they're right? There should be very severe consequences for that. When we caught Hillary, there's another big one. Pay attention, guys. This is huge. This tells you it's Coke and Pepsi. Right here, it's going to tell you there is no Republicans and Democrats, in my opinion. Right there should be a very severe consequences for that. When we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible, and I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified, and what they did in 2016 and 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. Remember, just quit talking about Epstein. President Trump says that Mr. Obama is guilty of treason. Actually used those words, treason. The leader of the gang, Barack Hussein Obama, have you heard of him? He's guilty. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. Okay. Good's a word. It was also good. We have all of the documents. Tulsi has thousands of additional documents coming. President Obama, it was his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Biden was there with him. Comey was there, and so was Clapper, the whole group.
Clapper?
Yep. Jen says, classic definition of recrimination. Puck Elf says, sorry, head injury, bad spelling. Oh, you're fine, bud. I'm just trying to hang in there with you. You don't worry about that at all, man. Give it hell. All right. Don't miss the single most important moment in transparency in U.S. government history. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, just declassified proof of treason by President Obama. I've never in my life seen an intelligent community declassify proof of their own crimes against the American people. The evidence is astonishing. U.S. Intel admitted Russia did not hack the 2016 election. Obama pushed the Russia hoax to sabotage Trump. The Steele dossier was fake, but Comey used it anyway. Brennan and Clapper entrenched the hoax deep into the intel community and punished whistleblowers. Corporate media was used to launder fake government propaganda relentlessly. The Russian probe was an insurrectionist plan to take down Trump. They knew Russia didn't interfere with the election, yet they fabricated intelligence to justify a years-long effort to overthrow him. This was a deliberate campaign of treason aimed at removing the legitimacy elected president. The treason is exposed. We have the names. Now it's time. to hold them accountable. Clandestine came off of that and said, holy shit, it's happening. Trump's not joking. He's going to scorched earth on Obama and his cabal after what they did to me, whether it's right or wrong. As he said, I told you guys earlier, it's time to go after him, right? Then the architect came in behind and said, hey, look, Obama's got a kill switch in place. And since his first term, in case this moment ever came, I've talked about it in the past. If he gets arrested, he will activate. He's not going to go down easily. And I don't know if you guys watched this or not, but President Trump actually posted a video of Obama being arrested. Like an AI video. I just snip clipped it because obviously I'm not playing a video. But they grab him and arrest him and haul him off.
And it was an AI video?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just absolutely crazy. If there's an actual guilty, say guilty, it's even so harder because, again, that's a mess. If justice is served, I will be thrilled, and I will be the first one standing up saying that that's a wonderful thing. But I can give you example after example after example how this is politics, no different than what we've experienced all of those times. I'm going to skip that one because I'm going to run out of time. This is all about Obama stuff, and there is so much going on, but it'll definitely be interesting to see. How is it connected? So flashback to February 29th of 2020. Trump says that the media blaming him for COVID is a hoax, and it is a continuation of the Russian hoax. We were just talking about Obama and the Russian hoax and all of that stuff. But what they're saying now is that COVID is tied to the election interference, and this is how.
Oh, yeah.
Right? COVID was the continuation after the Mueller attempt failed. COVID was the last resort if they were unable to remove Trump via the Mueller impeachment. I understand I'm getting a little ahead of the timeline, but I think the public are being briefed on Russiagate, and eventually we will be told that the same people who carried out the Russian hoax also carried out the COVID hoax, and it was all part of the same treasonous conspiracy to remove or overthrow Trump by any means necessary. The president of Tanzania came out and he's been applauded because he did not subject his people to the COVID hoax. And he joked and said a papaya, a goat, and a cow got tested. A person got tested positive and then negative. This man lived next to the hospital and didn't even witness any deaths, and yet they didn't vaccinate anybody. Official UK document from the Ministry of Health reveals that COVID never existed. This is now being the case means the masks, the lockdown, the vaccines, the PCR tests were all acts of criminality. This needs to be shared so the public realizes the hoax is now officially in the public domain. COVID investigative committee out of Berlin, Germany conclude that COVID was a scam brought to us via the fake PCR report. And Dr. David Martin exposes how mRNA death shots are being used to cull American senior citizens before an economic collapse bankrupts Medicare and Social Security. That's, I think, is a gigantic point. You know, you got a Medicare Social Security program that's, you know, they've been saying for years is going to go bankrupt. Now, the question is it really going bankrupt or are they just trying to get more money? But that's apparently for another day. But truly going, what a great way to limit your exposure is to just kill off all the old people.
How do you feel about that? If you say COVID killed your dad?
I feel I don't feel like COVID killed my dad. I feel like the hospital killed my dad. You know, the VA hospital did. Usually when people quit a job, they move on. What did Obama do? He stuck around DC instead of went home. Maybe he wants to be close to the action just in case. I'm really interested to see what happens. All this, my gut tells me, and my experience tells me that nothing will happen, that this is more theater, just like it's always is. You know, we're going to release the Epstein files. Russia's going to be out of Ukraine in one day, blah, 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 blah. It's always the next thing. And they didn't appreciate the Epstein conversation. So now they're doing the Obama conversations, right? Trying to get everybody's attention, you know, so it's hard to tell. I'm not smart enough to tell. And I think if I go back here, I'll find it. Lindsay had a great comment a long time ago. I wonder if I can find it. It's probably a long time ago. But anyway, this is exactly what Lindsay was talking about. Is it's just so impossible to even know what the truth is. You know, I certainly don't know. Don't look for me for answers. First major world politician apologizes to the unvaccinated. You were right and we were wrong. Danielle Smith, the premier of Alberta, Canada, is the first major elected politician in the world to issue a heartfelt apology to the unvaccinated for crimes perpetrated against their human rights by the government during the COVID lockdowns. I can apologize right now. I'm deeply sorry, she said, for anyone who is inappropriately subjected to discrimination as a result of their vaccine status. I am deeply sorry. And for any government employee that was fired from their job because of their vaccine status. And I welcome them back if they want to come back.
Would you take your old job back?
No. I've changed my whole life around, you know. In the old days, treason justice was hanging or a firing squad. I doubt if there are any convictions. Yeah, there won't even be any jail time. Totally agree. But Sally looked at me wrong. It's her fault. No accountability almost anywhere. Yeah, anywhere anyone looks. I always believed the whole fiasco was an attempt to see how well the control could be pushed before the general public stood up. But too many made billions on the fiasco.
Yeah.
The problem is they just didn't care. Died suddenly reported that 75% of babies who die now of SIDS received the vaccine within 7 days of their death. Infant death post-vaccinations are often misclassified as SIDS or suffocation, etc. Of all the reported SIDS cases post-vaccine, 75% are now occurring within 7 days. Scott says, this good news is exhausting. Who knows what the truth is anymore? I just want to produce my own water, food, power, medicine, focus on people I care about. How fast can I starve the beast? Amen. Amen.
Man, he just had we should just read that for the whole closing.
Yeah. Well,
he summed it all up
there
right there.
There
you just pin it to the top.
I did.
Way to go, Scott.
Yep. Engineers transform dental floss into needle-free vaccines. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Inactive viruses.
Yep. A new method placed activated viruses directly into the mice's gums.
Wow.
That's pretty exciting, right?
No, and now we have to be concerned about even that.
I guess you're going to have to start
We're going to
spinning your own floss.
I was going to say, we're going to have to get some dog fur and put it together and try to.
Yep. In case you guys wanted something fun to think about, Harvard astrophysicists suggest aliens may attack Earth in November of 2025 after revealing an object spotted in space could very well be the hostile alien spacecraft. What do you think about that?
That rainbow thing?
Yeah.
It doesn't look vicious. It
No.
looks like
and
a party.
it is just as likely that someone just put that on that picture.
Yeah.
They're making shit up. Who knows?
It looks like a sky party.
But I think this is as Lindsay was talking earlier, I think this is the point, right? Is that who the hell knows? Right. Let's see here. Jen says, all that floss in the storage tubs will come in handy. Yeah. Okay. So you guys know who Alina Habba is? This is actually a great story. This is actually really good news. Crushes deep state judges who tried booting her as the acting U.S. attorney for New Jersey. Her 120-day intern gig expired on July 22nd. So the judges picked her deputy as a replacement, but Trump yanked the nomination on July 24th. And Attorney General Bondi fired the deputy, creating a fresh vacancy. Boom. Bondi reappoints Habba as acting for another 210 days, flexing executive power over judicial oversight. She declares, I don't come to pressure. Globalists fume as loyalty triumphs. New U.S. Attorney Alina Habba responds to criticism over indicting Representative LaMonica McIver. And for you guys who don't know her, the McIver is currently facing a 3-count indictment by the federal grand jury for assaulting, resisting, impeding, and interfering with federal officers. And there's a prosecutor out there that actually prosecuted and is filing charges against a politician. This is to be celebrated.
Huh.
Yep. I think. Yeah. Puck Elf says, I've got a badge that says I got the V and lived. Hey, AK Amber. What up? It says, hope you're well. I got moved to an off-grid property in West Virginia. Working on getting water and power this month. Broke my wrist 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Got a plate and screws put in it.
Jeez.
What a better time to install your own off-grid water and power than when you've got a plate with screws in your wrist. I mean, that's like badassery, right? Let's see here. Jen says, guy mowing just ran over a hydrant. Good thing Mario has isolation valves on each one and it was off. Yeah. All right.
Oh, ran over theirs?
Yep. Did you guys see the issue where President Trump got into a fight with Jerome Powell? I'll summarize. So they went into their new facility. Trump starts harping on him that they're way over budget. He says, you're over budget because you decided to build a third building. Jerome Powell says, no, we didn't. Trump pulls the receipt out of his pocket, totally embarrasses him on the national stage. And then now they're negotiating for lowering rates. You can't make this shit up. Just in, experts are furious. The stunning new Wall Street Journal data finds a surge in American perception that Trump's economy is up 23 points. Really? So that says it's up 23 points. Just get the taste of this golden age. GM profits are down 35%. Who do you believe? Online Safety Act starts today. This means to access, I love this. It starts to access, in order for you to access adult material on the internet, you will now have to provide proof of age via facial scans, photo ID, and a credit card. This doesn't just affect pornography, it's everything deemed to be adult content. Is this bad or good?
So like cigarettes and booze and, right? I guess even what, you don't have to be a certain age to buy cigarettes and alcohol. The only thing that you have to have
I think you have to in order to buy like porno magazines or whatever.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but do you support
Where do you buy
that? You have to. Do you support that you have to?
No.
Right, because this comes down to it's just none of their
For
business.
facial scans,
Right.
photo IDs, and credit cards.
Yeah. Jen says we have hydrants all over the property, and when we have them marked and pointed them out, but his giant tractor found that one. Yeah. More shit to do. Again, I'm gonna try to hustle here. President Trump says the reason the last administration was so eager to regulate and restrict artificial intelligence was so they could limit its technology to just a few large companies, opposing them to centralize it, censor it, and control it and weaponize it. This is the opposite of my approach, which it's not. Just a couple weeks ago in our live, Trump said that no state can regulate AI for a period of 5 years. The regulation is coming out of the federal government, not at the state level, which means he absolutely centralized it. This is a complete contradiction to what has happened. Breaking, Visa now supports XRP spending through Coinbase debit cards. I think this is something we really need to start paying attention to if you're not already paying attention to it. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. President Donald Trump declares, I support cryptos. Then, just today, the U.S. has officially signed a bill to replace FedNow with the next-gen payment system powered by XRP. Breaking, BlackRock's head of digital assets is leaving BlackRock to join the second biggest Ethereum treasury company, SharpLink. XRP is now being considered to replace all SWIFT transactions in the U.S. SWIFT is a global payment system. That is a $1.5 quadrillion market. If implemented, XRP could soar. And the CEO of Ripple, who is XRP, right? Brad Garlinghouse says, we are not partnering with SWIFT. We're replacing them. Guys, this is digital currency. This is digital ID. This is what it is, right? And it's interesting how, Trump said a lot. I don't agree in, a central bank digital currency. Maybe he'll go forth and allow all of these other ones too, but I just don't have any belief that they're going to give up the power to the purse. I don't see it, especially someone like Trump. Trump then went on, let me back up. So on July the 18th, and this was this year, Trump was quoted as saying, if we have a smart president, you're never going to let the dollar slide. If you have a dummy, that could happen today. Trump on the US dollar, nearly 11% fall. If you guys haven't been following it, the value of the dollar has been crashing. The biggest 6 month drop in over 52 years. A weak dollar makes you a hell of a lot more money, Trump says. I don't lose sleep over it. In fact, sometimes I go to sleep very well. The dollar is accelerating fast. The DXY crashed to 97.2, lowest since February of 2022. The dollar has been getting hammered, and you guys know why, because they just like to print lots and lots of money. I am going to get out of here because I'm going to leave it right there tonight. But B, you got anything? Oh, let me see here. Let's get to a lot of these questions real quick because I've been kind of down a little. I don't even know where I've got them. Start right there. Okay. I don't understand the value of something out there in the wind, except you carry it in your wallet. You carry a Visa card. You carry cash, which is based on nothing, right? Let's see here. I have something to say about Australia and digital ID. They just did it the most sneaky way so they don't have to call it that. Yeah, the Affordable Care Act. Sorry for the off-topic question. I've noticed my full sun plants being stressed out by the sun. Yep. A couple hours after the sun is off, they look okay again. Have you noticed this with any of your plants? Yes. Yeah, they're getting burned a lot. And is burn the right word?
They're growing weird.
And they're getting toasted. It's been super, super hot.
Maybe that's where crispy comes in.
Yeah. Let's see here. Puck Elf says, but it's been a conspiracy for years, so they say. Then they slipped it in. Yeah, you know, the running joke is, you know what the difference between reality and a conspiracy is? 6 months.
6 months.
Right. Let's see. A weak dollar is good for exports, but nothing else. Yeah. And AK Amber says the UV index is at extreme. Yeah. All right, B, get us out of here tonight. What do you got to say before we leave these fine people? What are we going to talk about?
Well,
you had some experiences this week.
Yeah. And it had led me to when you always say we don't have to fight them, but we just have to ignore them. You say that like pretty regularly.
Yep.
And I was thinking that, you know, typically when you say that, it's like, you know, don't go get a building permit or, you know, like ignore them and the rules. But then I was like, ignoring them is like doing for yourself. So the solar, the water, you know, that's ignoring them. You know, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So to interpret the fairyland ideas, when we talk about how we don't have to fight them, we just have to ignore them. What you have to do is spend a little time thinking about what does ignoring them mean? Because what, as B was mentioning, what a lot of people think it means is, okay, I'm not going to go get a building permit. That is not, that's a tiny part of it. It may not even be included in it. Not ignoring them, what it means is you're no longer asking them for permission. You're not begging on your knees for your power or your water or your food or your, you know, your schooling or your mental health or whatever it is. So by saying, hey, let's go ignore them, that is a monumental task. Because just like in the experience that B had this week, right, where she gets all worked up over this baddie, which, guys, it ain't a big deal. But at the end of the day, what it focuses us to do is, how do I make redundancies? How do I create systems and processes that if one break, I'm not just going back to gravel at the needs of my master? Right? How do I insulate myself from that outside world so that when they come, because they are coming, when they come, I'm more insulated and I can better deal with those obstacles that will come before me, because I'm not begging for permission on 47 different fronts for all of my daily needs. And so I think we'll leave you guys with this tonight. You know, as we always talk about, 1 is none, 2 is 1, and 3 is a spare. Go out there and build redundancies into your systems. Be thinking about if you didn't have them, and be thinking about how you put things in place that allow you to last longer. And so I guess until we do it again, be out.
Yeah.
Tag out. We'll see you guys in 1 week. Good night, everybody.